Hi, folks. Patrick here, Have Cheetah Will View. And we're here for another film review. Getting ready for December, Christmas. So I thought I'd do something a little different. I thought I'd put some Christmas movies into play. Probably movies that you're not expected, though, right? Everybody knows about all the Christmas movies. But, me and the Cheetah, we do things just a slightly differently here. So the first movie we're going to be talking about, and it shouldn't come to no surprise from many of you who probably already guessed what I'll be talking about. But those who don't know, we'll be talking about The Christmas Ornament, which is a Hallmark Christmas movie from 2013. This movie stars Kelly Martin as Kathy, Cameron Matheson as Tim Pierce, and Jewel State plays Jenna, her Kathy's best friend. So the story opens up with we see Kathy. She is a young widow. She's lost her husband in January or February, and she's having a hard time. She's running her husband's business or trying to run it, a bicycle shop, but it's really struggling, and she's just in a deep fog. She goes to ice rinks and she likes to skate there and to clear her mind, but she's so lost that every single time she goes out, she always drops her mittens, and we see that when she's riding her bike to her store, she drops her mittens. Well, her friend Jenna is trying to help her get out of it a little bit, and she's trying to get Kathy to get outside and enjoy life and as much as she can, and so she takes her out to go get a Christmas tree, and Kathy says that she's not really ready for Christmas. She's not really ready for that at all. But Jenna needs a Christmas tree, so she goes. Well, she looks at the Christmas trees over at Tim's trees. We see Tim walking up to his gift shop and seeing Kathy in it, puttering around. Her being a small business owner, she moves things around, and so he comes in, and Tim and Kathy start talking about small businesses and whatnot. And so she leaves, and Jenna says, "Well, I see you're talking to somebody. That's really positive, and maybe there's something there." And Jenna and Kathy sort of gets a little bit grumpy, and she says, "It's not even been a year, and don't push." But Tim and Kathy seem to be running across each other quite a bit. Be it whether it be at the skating rink, or when Kathy comes over to the shop to say thank you to Tim for a talk, and she brings her cookies that she's made, and Tim's got a really long line of anxious customers, and so Kathy walks down the line and offers everybody a free cookie to calm them down, and it works. And but there's a benefit for that, though, is that now people are calling Tim's trees. They want to buy cookies that Kathy has made. She's a really good baker, so she only made a batch for Tim, and she didn't expect that to happen. But now people are like, "Hey, we want to buy cookies." So Kathy says, "Okay." So she starts baking cookies. Tim comes by and drops off a tree that initially that Kathy doesn't want to decorate. She just has it there, and she turns off the light at the end of the day. She's just not ready for Christmas. And Tim comes by, and he takes Kathy out to help deliver Christmas trees. He has free delivery, and he also takes her to his new dream, which is going to be to buy a Christmas tree lot. He's gonna get rid of his small little shop, and he's gonna move and become a tree grower, because everybody needs Christmas trees. So it seems to be, and they talk about their past, and we find out, that Tim finds out that Kathy's a widow, and Kathy finds out that Tim had a fiance that they spent 3 years together, but she dumped him for a lawyer. So they both have heartache in their lives, and they're both trying to get over it. Jenna invites Kathy to come out to an ugly sweater party, but she's still not feeling it. Well, they do get close. Tim and Kathy start getting close, and but that's the time where all of a sudden Rebecca, Tim's ex-girlfriend, comes into the picture, and she comes back looking to get back with Tim, and while Tim still has feelings for her, not as much as he used to. But when Kathy sees Tim and Rebecca walking arm in arm at the Christmas tree lot, she assumes she assumes that they're getting back together, and so she has Jenna take her back home. And whatever little crack of light was cracking is now closed. And Kathy starts taking down a Christmas tree, and she starts retreating again. So it doesn't look very good for Kathy. It's going to be a rough. It's going to be a rough season unless a miracle happens. And will it happen for these two? Well, it's a Hallmark movie, right? Um, all right. So I have some good things to say about this movie and have some bad things to say about this movie. This movie was directed by Mark Sean, and it was written by Bill Wells. So, okay, so the good thing is that there's some great chemistry here. All three leads are wonderful. Jewel Straight as Jenna, Kelly Martin as Kathy, and Cameron Matheson as Tim. They're all lovely people and they're really good actors. And good Lord, Kelly Martin. You know, people slept on her. People slept on her. She is a really good actress. Um, Now she's done a lot of Hallmark movies in the past, including the Mystery series, and so she's very well known to fans of the network. And I can see why, because she really comes across as really genuine. Her acting here is awesome, and I'm saying that in a Hallmark movie, but it is. It's really, really good, exceptional. There's a scene where she's deep she's showing some emotion, and she goes and she sits and she's putting on her skates, and you can see her lower lip quivering. She's crying for real. It's not an act. You can see the emotion there in her lip. I was like, wow, that's just, it moved me to tears because I knew she was feeling it. Um, Cameron Matheson is he's really good at too. Of course, every time I closed my eyes, the only thing I could hear from him was he sounded sort of like Jim Carrey in the Grinch movie. That's not really fair, but it's his voice sort of reminded me of the Grinch. But he's really likable, and he has a great chemistry with Kelly Martin, and I really did like him in this movie quite a bit. Now, I love Jewel State. Let's just get that out of the way. She's in Firefly. She's done some other great movies. One of the movies she did, I covered here, called She Who Must Burn. I think she's a terrific actress. But she got the short shift in this movie big time. Hmm. So one of the points is that they always have Jenna trying to get Kathy out, and then all of a sudden Tim talks to her, and she's poking at her, saying, "Hey, there's something there. There's something there." The woman hasn't had her husband lost for a year. Bill Wells, who wrote this, must not have never experienced loss in his life. That's the only thing I could think of with his insensitive script, and for that, it's insulting, quite honestly. And I felt really bad for Jewel State to have to play this role because it's a thankless role and it's a maddening role. Um, the woman Kathy hasn't had her husband hasn't even died, hasn't been dead even a year. This is Kathy's first Christmas without him. First Christmas without her husband, and yet they have her best friend sitting over there going like, "Well, get back in the saddle. Yeah, go talk to him. Yeah, there's something could be happening there." Yeah, no one in their right mind, no one who calls someone her best friend or his best friend would ever do that, ever. And it just really frustrated me as a viewer and as a widower to see that portrayed. And I've really felt a disservice to Jewel State to having to play that role that way. it made her character Jenna not very likable in a lot of ways. I mean, she is likable, but she's not when she's sitting around and she's telling, she's. It seems to be like she's just not hearing anything that Kathy's saying. She's just bullheaded, and I don't think that's Jenna at all. But that's how the script has her played. So I was really frustrated about that. And that's like I said, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, he's obviously never lost anybody in his life. But you know what? One day he probably will, and then he'll understand. You know, write what you know, right? Write what you know, and he doesn't know this, so he shouldn't be writing it. But the direction of the film itself is really well done. The locations are wonderful. Like I said, the chemistry between all three leads is really good. We even have a appearance by Laura Mennell, who seems to be the go-to girl for Hallmark movies when they need they need a little bump in the story. Like the other woman. She has played that role so many times in Hallmark movies, and she does it here again. Now, some of you might not know Laura Mennell, as far as people who watch this channel watch horror movies and comic book movies and whatnot. But Laura Mennell, she also has a science fiction and horror background. She played Dr. Manhattan's wife in The Watchmen. And she was in a great movie called A Country Wedding, which is a fantastic movie. You have to go watch that one too. That's a Hallmark movie as well, and that's a very, very fun movie. But for this one here, I just wish I love the movie, and for Kelly, her whole emotions are on her face. When she's resting, you can see the deep sadness in her face. When she smiles, it lights up the room. It's a great performance. I really like this movie quite a bit. I did, but I did not like the arc of the story with the best friend. But I still would recommend this. I definitely would recommend the Christmas Ornament. And yes, there are some product placements in this movie as well. There's Hallmark ornaments, and there's Werther's candy. I always look for product placements in Hallmark movies. It's a lot of fun to do. So they had two. Of course, Hallmark being one of them. But they had Werther's candy there too. So that was cute. This movie runs for about 88 minutes. There's actually some special features on here. A small little featurette on this. That's rare. But this is a 2013 film. So this is the beginning of the Christmas Hallmark turning over to become a Christmas channel. But I recommend this. I really do. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and yeah. All right, so that's the review. If you're new to the channel, yes, not only do we cover horror films, but we also cover Hallmark movies. All right. Well, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, leave a comment down below. Don't be snarky now, because I'll return it. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And we'll see you for the next one. Peace.